Evolution. I'm just kidding.
We can do evolution.
No.
Evolution, religion.
No.
We can talk about how politics has evolved in evolution.
Oh, gosh. No. And religion. So we're home inspectors.
Yep. Every angle inspectors.
I'm Kevin. This is Chris.
So we're
home inspectors. Yeah. We inspect.
I feel like we have to like remind the audience because
we're pretty cool. We're pretty cool guys. So we don't talk about home inspection all the time, but when we do,
it's smart talk.
Smart talk.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Brain stuff.
Good stuff.
I know tons of stuff.
So why are you wearing this same blue shirt that you've been wearing like all these episodes?
Because
why are you were just wearing this in the last episode?
This is the worst thing that ever happened to me. I need to just get your shirts. Can we just start switching outfits completely in between episodes? Nobody would know.
The same shirt but a different color.
I don't shop at Buckle, man. I can't. There's nothing wrong with shopping at Buckle. I'm just kidding.
Buckle is that going to be our sponsor?
I do need to get some shirts. Are they? I don't think I've ever bought anything.
But the reason I shop at Buckle is because the comfort, like that thin.
They have quality stuff, but of course you pay for it.
Yeah.
The 50% polyester, 50% cotton, where it's like super soft.
It keeps you cool.
See if I can get a polo that's like this, because that's around that. I mean, that's around the same.
And the like the thinness, like this. The reason I made this the work shirt is because it's so thin. And like Texas, it's like 100 degrees. You're in an attic, like you can die. Like it's like a real thing. You go up in an attic, it could be like 140 degrees.
No one knows you're there.
Yeah, nobody knows you're there. Like if you start to feel it a little bit too much, you need to like get back out.
Like, why does it stink? What did the home inspector do?
It's like in the walls, like Kevin from crawling down the walls.
Stuck in the wall.
Don't worry about it. It'll only stink for like probably 2 or 3 weeks. It'll go away.
Yeah. He'll decompose. He's fine. He's diabetic, so he's so sweet that all the rodents get attracted to him. If I was to die in a small crawl space, they would just be like, no.
I don't know. The rodents would probably be poisoned just from you. They would just like, oh God, this guy eats too many.
He tastes like bitch.
It's just nothing but vegetables.
I had set a rat trap where I could see it. One time I stuck it in this. At my house, the water heater's got its own little closet thing, and I had stuck it in there because I noticed that they were hanging out on top of the water heater. And I stuck the rat trap there, and I mean I completely forgot it was there, and I mean it was like a couple days the house was just smelling weird, and we could not figure out why at all. And like I was thinking about it, like it got so bad I was like, all right, something's going on. I was thinking maybe it was like a plumbing leak tearing something up or something. I was like, you know what? I bet there's a rat on there. And I opened it up. Sure enough, the rat trap was on there, and the rat was literally hanging off the side of the water heater. I was like, oh, yep, we got him.
Yeah, that's. I mean, we find because we go in the attic, you see some crazy stuff in attics, and one of the things. I mean,
possums, or not possums, but like
I don't think I've seen a possum. I've seen snake. I've seen the little skeleton, just like the strip. I've seen snake skin.
Raccoon. That's what I was saying. I've seen a dead raccoon in an attic.
I've never seen.
I've seen a pile.
I've seen a raccoon living in an attic.
Yeah, my buddy had moved into a house, and we was remodeling it. And we was going up there to take a look at the AC and see what was going on. And the homeowners before, or whoever was living there before, had set up a big cage trap. You know, one of them cages where you can go in but you can't come out?
Yeah.
They had set a cage in there to catch, I guess, this raccoon. Well, they caught it, but nobody ever got the raccoon out. And it had been there, looked like it had been there for years. It was, like, decomposed. All that was left was the skin.
That's mean.
Yeah, that's...
Raccoons are actually pretty cool. I mean,
I would hang out with a raccoon.
Yeah, no.
I like the one on Guardians of the Galaxy. Right? It's cool.
Well, we
Trash Panda.
that too. We were this is whenever I was little. I was probably like maybe 10 years old or so, and we were living in these apartments. But my mom had a friend that I would stay at their house, and they would go off to work. This is during the summer for schools and stuff, and so I'd just be there by myself. And they had this little raccoon. I would see him coming up, And so I just throw some little peanuts, like mixed nuts out there. And eventually he'd kind of come out. I'd just be checking him out. And it got to the point over about a month where he would come up to me and he would grab the peanuts like right out of my hand. And their hands are like crazy soft. And they got 5 fingers. And so they're like, it's like a monkey. It's just like, it'll grab it. And this thing like it'll take one and then it'll just like stick it in its mouth, and then it'll take one. And it'll take literally like a half a can of nuts and it'll like stick them in the armpits, like full.
He's like,
and
this guy has no
it's
idea.
taking it back to its
Stocking
family.
up, yeah.
You know, it's like like putting them to hide so it can eat it later. Yeah, but they're pretty cool, man. I wouldn't want to let one die of starvation in my attic.
Absolutely. I would rather
no, it was cool.
domesticate it and be its friend. You know?
Yeah,
That'd be
you
tight.
could. And then it gets
Be different with the
rabies.
squirrel, and then
fucking-
I give it rabies. I bite it.
Yeah.
I have rabies.
Yeah.
I don't have rabies.
Just every once in a while. You already got cured. You know, it's like 20 shots. You know that? If you get rabies, you have to get 20 shots. This is like 10 years old. I'm not a fucking doctor. This is like disclaimer.
Disclaimer, yeah.
I don't know shit.
Yeah. But at least it used to be like you get like 20 shots, like big shots in your stomach. That's like the only way to get rid of it. So that would fucking suck.
Wow.
Yeah.
Imagine like back in the day, like that's why like the like end of the world type thing, like zombie apocalypse series and stuff like that. Like what's World War Z, where they're like crazy, insane, and mean. I think
probably
that's
one of my
that
favorite
could
zombie
be
movies, yeah.
that could be a possibility because rabies is like a real thing. So like if you got infected with something that just totally messed up your brain and you just went violent, you know, like angry, aggressive, like and just like did that to
You don't even have to.
crazy.
The zombies don't even have to be like craving brains or human flesh or anything like that.
Yeah,
Like,
I doubt that
That's
would
for
be.
movies. But like, yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
just start
basically.
tornado punching everybody because you're so angry. That's a zombie to me, man. If you're just completely out of it, just being violent.
Yeah.
You know.
I like all those zombie shows because I always like imagine like I think I'd be pretty good at surviving an apocalypse. No,
No, I think you'd be very good at surviving an apocalypse. I'm thinking about myself. I'm like, dog, I need.
That's why I
need
have
insulin. I was like, the pharmacy's going to close for sure. I can't get more needles.
I have
You know what I'm
I
saying?
have meeting spots with my friends, like my close friends.
Do you?
I tell them like if something happens, like a nuclear blast or something like immediate, like happens big when you know the phone's like shut down. You know, like a 9/11, like you couldn't even make phone calls because of all the phone traffic. We have like meeting spots. Like you're gonna meet at like my house if this happens, and then we're gonna go to point B if you don't get there at a certain time. This is crazy.
We're leaving.
I bought like I have probably more 22 bullets than like anybody that you've ever met in your life. Even like I don't really prep that much, but the way I see it is there's a lot of rabbits and squirrels and stuff like that. And that's probably going to be your primary.
The older ammunition though.
I have
because a lot of the newer ammunition actually expires, so it has to be from a certain date.
Dude,
It's like it's all new.
So yeah, we have a lot of 22 ammo in it, and I won't shoot it and I won't sell it to anybody just because I know it's predated.
Oh
It
yeah.
won't
Have you
expire.
ever had like misfires and stuff like?
We had
Because
some of
I've
them,
had
but
some pretty old bullets and I've never had.
if you have old bullets, some of them.
I think it matters
it's just
too, like the moisture content too, because I have a safe and I keep them like
Right.
kind of pretty
But
secluded.
the new
from,
ones
like,
they make,
moisture.
they actually have like an expiration date. I think 4 or 5 years, and then they won't fire anymore.
Oh, they deliberately do.
No,
that?
they deliberately, like there was like a law that passed that all ammunition had to have that way you couldn't stockpile ammo.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's
Yeah,
like a
I
law
guess
so
that
the
makes-
citizens can't stockpile ammo. Weird law, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Talk
wouldn't
about
think that would happen
distrust.
in
Yeah,
America.
right. You can't have.
Well,
that.
anyways, I have bow and arrow, so if my bullets don't work, I still have a bow and arrow.
Arrows. I have a pocket knife sometimes. The little clip that clips on the pocket broke. I don't like having a loose knife in my back pocket because I've stabbed my ass before.
Yeah.
That shit sucks.
Yeah,
But yeah,
So-
you were saying 22s kill rabbits. And
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah.
That. Yeah, definitely.
yeah.
Especially if you got your little rifle.
We have not said anything at all about home inspection.
Yeah, besides introducing
All right, well,
ourselves
first
and
let's get to our sponsor. So this episode is going to be brought to you by AOL.
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 Yeah, I don't even know. I'm not old enough for that. Dial up.
What? What do you mean? We're about to turn this podcast into a 1990s chat room. It's going to get fucking crazy.
Should we throw the logo up like 5 minutes after y'all talk about it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have it pop up like
Yeah.
5 minutes later.
What logo?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? So what are we talking about today?
We're talking about bedrooms.
Bow, chicka, bow, bow. No,
that's not at all.
What are we talking about? Bedrooms.
What do you want to do? What do you want?
Any room is a bedroom if you try hard enough.
Fireplaces? We can do that.
Yeah.
All right,
we
cool.
can talk about
What?
fireplaces.
Can you please explain to me what a fireplace is, Kevin?
This is the easiest question you've given me all day. It's a place that you light fires in
Oh,
That's
so
also
that's
inside
why
your
it's called a
house. There's
fireplace.
fireplaces that are exterior as
That
well.
makes so much sense.
Basically, you
That's
have
like kinda like
a firebox,
Yeah.
right? It could be gas
Like a
supplied. It have
box of
artificial
fire?
logs with gas. It
Yeah.
could be wood burning. A box with fire. And
Sounds like fun.
yeah, it can contain a fire, and there's a lot of requirements and a lot of codes that go along with fireplaces because of how dangerous they actually are.
Let's hear some do's and don'ts.
Some do's and don'ts. Don't
Okay,
burn
you
wood in a factory gas fireplace. That's a huge don't.
Don't do what?
Burn wood in a factory like gas fireplace. That has like artificial logs.
That's
like,
made for gas.
Don't.
Yeah.
I'll jump in. Don't let your kids get inside the fireplace to clean it out after you lit a fire the night before. My dad did not know this rule. Okay, and I was a young kid, and I don't think he really said like he didn't tell me to get in the fireplace. He was just having me like clean some stuff up. And so I was like really like up in there. I'm a little kid, sweeping everything out. Feel like I'm helping my dad out with the house. And there was like an ember in there, and I burnt my hand like really bad. Like I probably have a scar. You won't be able to see it, but it's probably it's like an inch
stuck in the soot or something.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly how it happened.
Chute, or it was
No.
I
Like there was a fireplace, and like after you have a fireplace with wood, you have to clean everything out, and so sometimes there's still like little bits of embers. I don't know how my hand got in that position, but like there's a scar like all like right here.
Oh wow.
So yeah, don't let your kids play and clean inside the fireplace.
Yeah, that's good advice.
Yes,
that's
okay.
very good advice.
Which sucks because they're so little and they can get in there so good.
Yeah,
I know, right?
That's probably why it was my job.
Yeah, right. Because you're small, you're able.
But this is like back then. It's like, whatever, like the kids can do whatever they want, kind of.
Suck it up.
Yeah, yeah.
Suck it up.
What other do's and don'ts or things that should be fireplace safety?
Always, look for cracks in your firebox. If you see large cracks, openings, stuff like that. If there's usually like that brick, it's like the fire brick panels. If any of them are leaning over, that could be an issue as well. And you should definitely, try to figure that out.
Yeah. So you've got all the newer modern ones are just basically pre-manufactured. So you've got like literally pieces. It's like looks like a sheet of like they make it look like brick because it's just for looks, but it's basically just like a flat sheet that's got all the fire requirements. Mm-hmm. And then they'll have those like cut. Usually when you could buy like a whole set, and then it'll come with all the pieces pre-cut. Sometimes whenever like if you've got cracks in your firebox and you have somebody like a chimney sweep guy to come fix it, they're gonna get it out and they'll get like the general ones if it's an older model, and they'll literally like cut these pieces and they have to align them all correctly. And you don't want gaps at the two seams of the pieces coming together. But they will eventually kind of crack, especially like you see one of the things that happens a lot is if you have a wood burning fireplace and you've just got that little big metal like grill or whatever that holds the logs so that the air can get up underneath them. It's got the big prongs that stick out of the back that kind of curl up. And what happens is they get kind of the inch back towards the back wall, and then you throw people just throw the fire logs in there or the firewood in there, and it keeps kind of shoving up against it, and so that iron is chipping that brick away, and so you'll see like little like pieces like missing in that particular spot. But yeah, you'll have all that. So definitely, that's a visual observation. It's pretty simple. So
a lot of the stuff you can't see underneath. because you look at the outside of a house and you see, big brick fireplace, or you can see that it's like, it just looks like wood paneling all over, a structure that goes up. And usually there's a metal pipe inside there that is going to be transferring all of the combusted fuel, which would be in this case wood, and it exhausts all that smoke out of the building. So,
and if you're doing like a wood burning fireplace, or you've got like the gas starter where it's just like a little gas pipe that comes out and then it helps you be able to start the wood and then you can turn it off. Anytime you're burning that kind of wood, if you have a lot of fires or the person before you did, there's going to be a lot of soot that develops in that chimney. And people don't look inside their chimney that often. We do every inspection to put our heads in there and shine a light. And I would say, what do you think? It's probably like 20% of fireplaces need to be clean. Right. And it's not that big of a deal if you've got like a small fire, like you're just doing like a Duraflame. Oh, I got a Duraflame story.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a fucking good one. That's a good anyways, if you have a big roaring fire, it is possible for that like soot to catch on fire too. And so then obviously, you don't want that to happen. Anyways, Duraflame. You guys, do you know what a Duraflame log is?
I mean, it's a starter log, right? I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's a starter log. They have like mini ones that you can use as starter. It's basically like a big compacted bunch of flammable chemicals that burns for a long time.
Nice.
I have a story about napalm too. We'll save that for all the fire safety stuff.
Yeah.
I got a lot of fire stories.
I'm over here what are we going to talk about?
Anyways, with the Duraflame, it's basically like a log, and it's pretty soft. So if you were to, you're having it burning, and after it's been burning for a while, if you kind of poke at it, it'll break up a lot more, and then you've got more surface area, so it starts burning, gets really more intense. Well, I was at my friend's house, and we're like 12 years old. We have one Duraflame log burning, and it's the bigger kind. It looks like an actual piece of firewood, and it's in the fire. And for some reason or another, he wanted to bring it outside of the house. I forget why. I think we're going to burn some stuff outside. And he picks it up with those big like tongs, like the Fireplace tongs. Picks it up on his way to the back door, and it just breaks in half. And the thing just hits its carpet on the carpet. It goes whoosh, and it just starts a big fire. And the smoke alarms are going off, and so I run over. I'm getting like, I just pick up this cup. It's like a cup of water that I could do. And I'm like, I'm throwing cups on there, and he tries to get a blanket on there, but this stuff's like crazy flammable. And so it doesn't do it. The blanket's kind of catching on fire a little bit. So he ends up going and grabbing the hose. It's like outside the door, brings it in, puts it out the rest of the way. Dude, his mom's not home. This is like the middle of the day in like summertime. And that dude was so fucked up. And so, yeah. So he goes, and I help him everything too. I help him. We clean it up, and there's still like lots of like singes too. It's bad in some spots, but some spots it's just kind of like a little singe. So like he sits there with like scissors and like it was like a thicker kind of like a shaggier type carpet, and he like shaved it, like gave the carpet like a haircut to try to make it like look like his mom wouldn't notice or something. Made it even worse. Yeah. And needless to say, his mom found out about it, and I didn't see him for like probably about a month. He was grounded. So,
he probably
anyways,
blamed it on you too.
If you're using Duraflame logs, don't.
Dude,
I'm sure he did.
Chris is not a good guy.
No, it was. It might have been my idea. I honestly don't remember. But yeah, anyways, fire safety in the fireplace. What's some other rules? What about just gas and artificial logs? Those seem safe enough, right, Kevin? What could bad happen with a gas with artificial
bad
logs?
Things that can happen with that. Obviously, gas leaks. Natural gas. You'll have a perfume, like you'll be able to smell it too. So if you can smell that stuff without you're not turning on the unit to start, working, you can smell it. That can be an issue.
Yeah, the natural gas is actually odorless, but they put a substance in it that makes it smell. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I caught a gas leak today under a little gas range. You can barely smell it, but you get closer in, it's there. So.
I would say we find gas leaks like probably maybe like not 5%, probably like 2.5 or so. But
it's not very.
It's still like if you consider the amount of inspections we do, that still seems like a crazy amount of gas leaks.
Yeah, I found a gas leak at a furnace in an attic in a brand new home, and it's just like one of those things that like somebody might have missed it a little bit when they were taping up the threads or whatever for the pipe or something.
Yeah, that's also
you can smell it. Or even like not every single one of those flex hoses is going to be perfect either. Like you ideally they go through safety checks and all that stuff when they're being made, in the factory, but you could have a defective one. There's always that possibility.
So when you got gas running throughout your house, you have to use like the straight pipe, and then once it gets to right by the appliance, that's when you start seeing those yellow flexible kinds of pipes. Well, if it's an older house and that line has been, say they've gotten a few water heaters or it's a space where it gets bumped, it's really not that durable of a line because if you bend it just too many times, it could get a little tear on it kind of easy. So just watch out for that.
It's like set one way for so many years.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. By the time
it's
you're
kind of
trying to bend it,
Yeah, and you're not supposed to like sometimes to make them go where they want them to go. You'll see some pretty good kinks in them, and that's definitely bad because. Yeah, you got that. What are some other things to do with gas?
One thing, every time I get into an attic, I try to look for the chimney flue So like yesterday, for example, there's insulation all over this gas burning fireplace. Like those flues get really hot.
Yeah.
And not all those pipes are going to be rated for insulation contact or contact with combustibles. There is like guards that some builders or people will be able to put on there that the insulation can be kept that 2 inches away, or depending on the pipe. I mean, I've seen 1 inch clearance, 2 inch clearances, but
yeah. Well, for fireplaces, you're looking at that. You want to see that 2 inches, all the way around, and that's the really common thing is the insulation gets on top of them. A lot of times too, whenever they're building it up, they'll have like a little frame around it, so it'll be in contact with the wood. Anything that's combustible, insulation is considered combustible. When it's done the right way, what you'll basically have is that pipe is going through like a metal, like a sheet of metal essentially, and then that sheet of metal has a circle cut out in it, so it kind of holds it in place. And then you've got your clearance, and then that sheet of metal is attached to the wood, like a sheathing if it was going through the.
Ideally,
yeah.
I was reading on a natural gas heater. I don't know if it was in the book or on that thing that hangs on it, but it was saying something about
the thing that hangs on it. What do you mean?
Well, you know, sometimes
like
gas heaters have like an emergency
I thought you were talking about the book. I thought you were saying.
Well, they'll have like this. What is it called? Laminate. They'll have like a laminated card that hangs off the heaters.
Yeah.
And it was saying something about ventilation in the room. Is there like a certain?
Does
the room have to have like a certain percent ventilation in the room?
Not really for fireplace. Fireplaces are designed so that the air is coming into them and then going out. Mm-hmm. And the way that the chimney flue is designed is actually that's kind of getting technical, but that's another thing we can kind of look for. You can't see that much from that angle, but the way it's designed is to make that draft always going up, so you don't have any kind of backdraft or downfalling. Now, gas appliances, this could be a whole nother podcast, but they do require a certain room. If you've got like a gas water heater and it's in its own enclosed closet and there's just no ventilation, that combustion that you're creating needs oxygen to keep going. Mm-hmm. And so if you need that proper airflow. So lots of times in like a water heater closet, you'll see like a grate on the door or something, or coming from the attic side, you'll see like a hole in that ceiling. It's got like a screen or something.
Yeah. I don't mean underneath it, like underneath the actual panel, but sometimes those water heater closets are like 18 inches, 12 inches off the ground, so you can see that air is being introduced underneath where the actual water heater is. So, I mean, there's still going to be air being introduced into that area, like we were saying, so it can continue to combust.
But back to fireplaces, this is something that a lot of people don't know. Okay, so if you've got the flue, it's just a flap that lets air out or not, and then it'll keep the cool drafts if you've got it closed in the winter. And
are you talking about the damper?
I'm sorry, you said
flue, I was like, what's happening? Yeah.
Yeah, so you have the damper, right? That's a little thing that you move back and forth. And you obviously, when you start a fire, you want to keep it open. Well, if you start a wood-burning fire and you have it closed, you're going to notice because there's going to be smoke coming into your house. And it's going to be this whole big ordeal. Mm-hmm. You're like, why didn't I open the damper?
So damper clamps as well are important with gas fireplaces because it's going to keep an opening no matter what. Even if it's in a closed position, there's still going to be a little bit.
Yeah. So if you've got the smoke, you're going to know, right? So you're gonna open that damper up. You're going to realize, oh, there's a problem. If you've got a gas fireplace with artificial logs, it could be on and you don't even know that damper is closed because you're not going to smell it the same way that you would. And so now you've got that combusted material going back into your house, which is not good for you, Mm-hmm. So what they have to prevent that, it's required actually, if you've got if that type of setup, which most people do nowadays, is you've got the artificial logs and the gas. On that damper, you're going to have a little clamp. It's just like a little C, essentially, that just clamps right onto it. Really simple to install, really cheap, and that makes it so that it can't fully close. And now, even if you forget to do it, it's still going to be letting a lot of those materials out.
You do way better at explaining that for sure, because I was like, "There's a damper clamp."
This is what it does.
I was but you actually bring like a physical. You can actually like understand.
Yeah, we can do a picture of a damper clamp right about there.
Just want to put it over your face.
All right. Okay, so the other thing you have to think about with fireplaces is like
roof clearance.
Yeah, clearances.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's clearances on the roof, but there's also clearances to combustibles inside the room that it's in, like your mantle and stuff.
Yeah. So if you've got they base things off of like the opening size of the fireplace. And so if you've got something that's like a 6 square foot opening, so it's like a 2x3 or whatnot, that's kind of your marker. So if you're under that, it's kind of small. You're gonna be like, oh, that's a small fireplace. You're gonna kind of notice that. Most of them are over that 6. So you've got a mantle that the hearth that comes out in front of the fireplace, and that has to be 20 inches if it's over the 6. And then you've got to the outsides has to be 12 inches on the sides right here. And then above that wood mantle, that's usually a wood mantle, has to be 12 inches more above that, because that's getting really hot. The fireplace can get really hot if you've got a big fire in there, and they just don't want that to kind of started. The other thing too is the hearth thickness in front of the fireplace. That's got to be 4 inches at least. Most of the time you see them like a couple bricks stacked or something. Now, if it's on a slab, what a lot of the newer houses are, it doesn't really have to be that thick, because now you've got non-combustible slab underneath it. So you'll see that like flat tile work is fine on it. The problem, and what you actually do see quite a bit, is on the crawl space houses, the older houses that have that whole crawl space area. So you've got a wood subfloor, and then they just stick tiles on top of it. So it's better than just having a wood floor that goes right up to the chimney, but you still are not meeting that requirement for that. So it may be, you're starting a fire, you fall asleep if you do wood fires quite often, and you make crazy fires like I like have a big fire. It's way more fun. So sometimes the logs fall out of the fire. That does happen. Probably to me more than other people, but but yeah. So you want that little bit of extra protection right there. So yeah, there's.
Yeah. What about roof clearances? What's the old 3-2-10 rule?
Yeah, I don't know. What does that mean?
You talk about it. You're better.
I have no idea what that means.
You do.
I really don't know.
So basically, the chimney needs to be 3 feet higher. I'm sorry. No, see, I need your help on this one.
Well, this is really something that you don't really have to worry about that much, because almost every house, this rule's been around for a long time, so the houses are pretty much designed like that. But the chimney has to have a clearance above the roof, and if the chimney is kind of the top of the chimney is what we're speaking about. If the chimney is like further down on the slope of the roof, then it has to be within 10 feet.
I caught my ground. Yeah.
Of the slope. What's that?
Nothing. No, I'm just letting you know, like I'm right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well. Anyways, that's not something really that comes into play, and even if it is there, it's really not that big of a deal.
Basically, your fireplace needs to be 3 feet higher than the roof, or 2 feet higher than 2 feet higher than anything within 10 feet of it, is the general rule as to how high your chimney flue can be. Yeah. As soon as I was like, I'm going to pass it off to you, and I was like, wait, never mind, I take that back.
Yeah. And the outside of the chimney too, if you look like, it's got like, they'll do it like 2 different ways, or probably 3 usual ways. So they'll have like a regular brick that goes all the way up. If you've got a brick fireplace, lots of people think that it's just like in the old days where all you have is like a brick fireplace. Nowadays, almost everything is just a metal flue. Some of them even have 2 flues that go through that brick. The brick is just for looks, because we've had brick fireplaces since, I don't even know, forever, since we've had brick castles and stuff. And then, you've got the other kind that still has the metal flue inside, and then it's got like the wood or the fiber cement type siding around it with the wood trim. And then a lot of the newer houses, actually, they don't even bother with the fireplaces or the chimneys. They just have the little metal flue that comes out of a wall on the outside of the house,
really easy. Which
is really fine. And most of the newer houses too are all just that pre-manufactured kit that they just slap in there, that you don't even have to worry about all these. If you have a pre-manufactured kit, your like hearth requirements and all these things are going to be a lot different. Everything like manufacturers' directions, installation instructions supersede code, and so a lot of those you're just not going to see, like a hearth and things like that of the same kind of quality. So, but yeah, stability too. I mean, we look at like angles. I have seen some pretty questionable fireplaces. Like I would not let my kids play around some of these fireplaces. Actually, in my neighborhood, there was one that was like leaning like a lot. And I didn't talk to the owner, but I talked to one of their neighbors, and I just mentioned something about it, and it's just how I always thinking about inspecting and stuff like that. And I don't know if he told him or whatnot, but they ended up coming in and fixing that too, because something to keep an eye on. I did a hurricane too. Actually, it was real recent in like Lake Charles in Louisiana when I got hit by those two, and went down there and this one chimney. It was just like just the metal flue part. It didn't have the brick protection, and it just essentially ripped out of the house, slammed into a neighbor's window. Like it was like the metal flue was in the neighbor's house in their living room area. And then it creates a huge hole in your roof. So we don't have to deal with hurricanes around DFW, but that's good to know.
Yeah, man. I couldn't imagine the cleanup after
it's insane. I do insurance work, and so it's it's not as much about the money in that as it is about, you see a lot of like really cool stuff in insurance. Like you're going in after natural disasters, you have a whole new perspective on these kinds of things. You see sad stuff and you see crazy stuff, and hurricanes that's no joke, man. I'll watch out for them hurricanes. Around here's tornadoes. I've been hurricane or tornado aftermath too. It can be rough.
Are you ever spending time around the people that were living there that are trying to like?
Yeah. A lot of the times, it depends. If their house is like too messed up, then they're probably at just some hotel. But if it's like halfway messed up, then they're there.
Yeah. I feel like that would be a good opportunity to see like the best in people, because like under stressful situations like that, like whether you know your neighbors or not in these apartment buildings, or wherever you're at, or these just whatever, like I feel like if there's any time to come together and like help each other, it's right after a big disaster like that. So
yeah, for the most part, yeah, I did actually. This is kind of funny you bring that up though, because I was doing this. I did this claim where it was a hurricane, and it was out in this town. It's a smaller town. They have a whole bunch of carports everywhere, and so these carports are like picking up and slamming into like houses and stuff like that. Well, I was inspecting the house. They weren't there, but their carport had flown off and slammed into the neighbor's house. Well, the neighbor was home, and he came out and talked to me. He's like, "What are you going to get these guys to do for pay my house?" He was talking about how that owner is always building stuff and doing stuff, and he built that cover. He's an old guy. It's like two old like neighbors who like just had this like back and forth between each other. So he's coming over here trying to get his neighbor in trouble for not building a strong enough car covering or carport. So that was pretty funny. I was like, look, most of the carports, have to do that. That's something you're gonna have to talk to your insurance, and I'm not directly with the insurance. I'm just assessing the damages, and but it's pretty funny. Even my grandpa, R.I.P. Pepaw, he had this like beautiful rivalry with his neighbor. Like they just hated each other so much, but like it was like a thing to do. So it's like it makes them happy to like have that interaction, Anytime I would be over there, it was just like that. Anytime I would be over there, he would always like try like from like this is from a distance, right? He'd always just yell out some trash talking to my grandpa in front of me. Like my grandpa was teaching me how to play golf, and he's like, "Oh, I still remember this." He's like, "Blind leading the blind over there," like yelling it out,
Damn.
Yeah, I know.
Talking shit.
And then my grandpa doesn't even acknowledge it. He's like, "Goddamn motherfucker," trying to contain himself in front of me, dude. But that's pretty funny.
So funny.
So yeah. How are we looking? Good to go? This is like a Friday night. This is like an extra Friday night for us. I never wanted to end, but I guess we should probably get out of here because you guys probably shouldn't. I'm getting kind of hungry too, I guess.
Yeah. In-N-Out Burger?
They probably pay us a lot.
They won't.
No, they will.
They're like, who are you?
I told you, I'm mailing these companies invoices.
Are you?
Enron just keeps saying undelivered. It keeps coming back. I don't know what to do about that.
You and Enron.
I'm trying. We'll figure it out. So, but AOL, yeah, man. Yeah, we're doing that. I don't know. We're doing.
Yeah, we can get
a lot of AOL.
Radio Shack and Toys R Us on board. We're gonna be doing good.
Yeah.
We rolling
Get all
in the
the-
big
all
bucks.
those-
All of them just went out of business. Like,
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
I was like, you had me at Radio Shack. I was like, oh yeah, they're still around. And then
Yeah.
you said Toys R Us. I was like, that's not a thing anymore.
I don't think Radio Shack's around anymore, is it?
Dude,
No, there's no way.
Toys R Us is
Or
like
Car
su-
Toys?
like super
no,
sad.
Car Toys is because they.
Yeah, Car Toys is.
Car Toys
so
is, but
yeah,
Radio
Toys R
Shack.
Us, Radio Shack.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen a Radio Shack.
Radio Shack's still around. They've closed a lot of locations. I was having trouble finding a charger for this camera I do to do like for inspecting and stuff, and I had trouble finding them, but there's still some. What was
I heard Micro Center.
You were
Well,
saying
that's
Micro Center was
sad,
good.
Toys R Us, sad.
Yeah. Toys R Us.
I'm thinking Fry's. Fry's.
Well,
is going
because
out.
I have kids now. Like
Fry's is going out too.
That's a bummer. I loved Fry's. Fry's was great.
what? Fry's is going
Fry's.
out.
Oh yeah, last time I went in there.
No more Fry's for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Amazon.
It's all
What do you
Amazon,
need,
dude.
Yeah, what do you need Fry's for?
That's sad. Well, with Toy Story, it's like an experience. It's like fun to like take your kid and go and look at all the toys. It's like a thing to do, and you buy one toy. You know, obviously,
They used to have the big Lego things. You can go
yeah.
and
I mean,
play.
if it's something expensive, I'm buying it on Amazon. But I mean, you buy them the little things there. And stuff. But
Well,
I
because,
really think
they
like
get to run around and have fun. It's a huge place of toys. Like, go find something you like. You know,
Yeah.
like whether you get it or not.
I
you're
think
gonna have
every
fun.
Metroplex. If I was like big baller, I would probably in like a Home Alone. They had this Toy Story, the movie Home Alone. There's like I forget the name of the Toy Story. It's like
The
in
one where he's
New
in New
York,
York?
yeah.
Yeah.
And he like Shannon's or something. I don't know. But I googled
Belongs
it.
to
I was
the
like,
old
is
guy.
that a real Toy Story? Because I want to like hit that up. It's not real. It's actually like the front of the store is filmed in Chicago, which doesn't make any sense at all. But if like you were to start like this really high quality like brand of toy store and have like one per Metroplex, and people could come and take their kids there. You make it fun. You have kind of activity type stuff for them too, and you just like because
Legoland. That's what you're thinking about.
yeah, but all you can buy there is Legos. Legoland is awesome. Don't get me wrong. Legoland.
Legoland's
look,
tight.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never been to
I'm
Legoland.
so good at Legos.
I know you
dude.
are. I've never
So
been to
good,
Legoland.
man.
I
You
didn't-
saw it like
You were having fun with those Legos, man.
yeah, no.
Those
Yeah.
kids are like,
Yeah.
give me my Legos.
I was gonna send something to you. I couldn't remember who it was. I was watching something earlier. It was a Lego video. I was like, who was it that was saying like Lego? It's you. That's
Yeah. Yeah.
Chris
yeah.
and his Legos, man.
Okay,
You don't
look,
even work, you
I
just
really
play
am.
Legos.
I'm gonna hit Lego up be a legitimate sponsor.
I hope you're actually sending these emails out.
No, yeah,
to
I
let
did.
y'all know.
Dude. Really, undeliverable. I'm serious.
But anyways, yeah,
anyways.
we can wrap it up on that note. We love.
So if any
we
of
love
you
inspecting
billionaires are
homes.
watching this podcast, just make a Toy Story.
Yeah, or
And then-
Legos, just give us Legos. Pay us in Legos.
I mean, that's cool. If you guys need a home inspection and all you have is a bunch of Legos, I will accept Legos as payment.
Follow me.
All right, guys. If you have listened to all this nonsense and you made it this far, appreciate it. Subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
I don't know where subscribe, up, down.
I'm not good at that
like.
either. Do
whatever.
these things.
Yeah.
But you should.
Yeah.
100%.
Bye.
All right, bye.
All right. It will.